Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Monday. It's February 18th. The year is 2013, but let's be honest, none of that really matters because we are using ever so excited, delighted, happy backgrounds to celebrate that it is Day 9 Daily number 555. It's Funday Monday, where ordinarily we learn to be a better gamer, but today we dick around. Yes, that is right. I'm going to drink a little coffee out of my thing that says coffee and tell you a little bit about what we're going to see today. In today's Funday Monday, I requested a challenge. You may only kill your opponent using medivac drops. And because I'm so kind, I provided the following little bit of extra booster help. The training wheels, per se. If you had 2 drops going on at once, you could attack at the front, but that's okay, because no one did that. They all just did the killing with the medivacs. Now, despite the fact that I look incredibly hot and like Edward Cullen, or Cullen Edward, or whatever his name is, I don't read that genre of fiction. I think that it is politically correct to call it paranormal romance. I don't. I just read straight Harlequin romance. You know me! A fan of the romance novels am I. Perhaps not of the romance novels in general, but certainly of romance novel titles, such as Executive Pregnancy Ultimatum. Go on Amazon and you'll find out that that's an actual book. I didn't make that up. I saw it and was like, no, certainly not. But there are more things believable that do in fact exist, such as us gathering together here on this Monday to have ourselves some fun. There are indeed some announcements. I think there's this many. My right hand is the hand of truth, and other things as well. Number 1, for the wonderful subscribers of the Day 9 Daily, you have received a gift in your email or your Twitch mail. It is none other than a Papercraft Day 9 created by the lovely Zoe Schwind-Pensky of Zoe's Corner fame from NASL. She has kindly designed and provided a printout sheet of me, this tall, that you can print out on a color printer and erect it and have it there. Well, I don't want to say erect it because it is me, but you print it off and then you cut it and you glue it and then you set it down. It will be one of hopefully many. The next one on the docket is a paper craft. Manfred! Isn't that right, Manfred? He's somewhere in the room. He can't go anywhere because he's inanimate. Now, yeah, if you'd be so kind as to go to day9.tv, there's a little forum link for the Day 9 Papercraft. If you just want to post how it panned out for you, maybe the gluing and cutting didn't go so well, maybe you couldn't figure out how to attach the head and just set the body next to the head, that's all great. We want photos, yeah. And, of course, the second larger, more epic, unbelievable, kick-ass announcement, the Team Liquid and Day 9 TV community launch party for Heart of the Swarm will be going down on March 11th. If you go to teamliquid.net, you can figure out not only what it is, but how to get involved. Leading up to the hours where Heart of the Swarm will be released, will be broadcasting in coordination with Blizzard's official launch event for 24 hours straight. All that StarCraft content. Oh, yes, yes. Oh, actually, people in the chat asking how they can get a Papercraft Manfred in the future. For any of you who would like, you're not required to, but if you would like to donate $5 a month to the Day 9 Daily, go to twitch.tv/day9tv. There is a subscribe button, and for $5 a month, you get the wonderful, heartwarming knowledge that you are helping to support me. You get free ads, all that good stuff, and most importantly, on every other Monday, we send out a gift. Coming up in the next month or so should be another free indie game code as one of those treats. Now, I took off the jacket because it was getting a little hot. And it's still very, very hot in my room. Despite my Johnny Bravo haircut, in fact, I am sweltering. So I'm going to do my best to cast while not glistening too much. Because if I took off my shirt, all of you would turn to stone. Let me give you a little bit of a tease, because teasing, I know, is something that you're a fan of. Now, I've done this before, but some of you don't know how sexual it gets. All right, you see this? You see this man arm right here? This is from being 50% testosterone. in addition to being 40% bicycle. As we go up, oh, that's right. If I wore a white shirt, I'm so hairy it doesn't look white anymore. It looks purple. Anyways, now that you know that if I entered a wet t-shirt contest, it would just make me look like a chameleon as I got dead last, let's hop a little bit into the game, because in the game we're going to get the introduction to this Funday Monday Especial. We're going to get a little bit of medivac dropping action from someone known as the Butcher. The Butcher, who submitted a little bit of replays this week, like 5 or something like that. Watched many of those. He's going to give us a tutorial in education. Up in the top left is Erexia. You know, I'm trying to decipher the double I there. It might be Irex the second A. Some sort of afterthought, something to go into an appendix of a book, perhaps. Or it is an ancient historian. Actually, I just want to get a poll from the chat. It's time to do some polling. Because the gameplay has begun, and because about every 5 seconds I'm looking over there like someone compulsively checking a rearview mirror, I want to let you, the archive viewer, know something that's happening live right now during the Day 9 Daily. People are talking about whether or not they're hairy. So I just want to get a poll. If you're a very hairy man, give me a 1. If you are extremely hairless, if you look somewhat like a cherub, give me a 0. That's what I want to get. Where are my hairy folks? Where are my hairy folks at? Yeah. Look. Uh-oh. Oh my god, I did the 1s first and now it's all 0s. Oh man. Alright, so like 10 of you are hairy, and that's good that we all showed up. If we perhaps needed to journey to deal with a dragon that invaded a mountain, we pretty much have enough to get there. Whew. Well, either way, I love you dearly. Hairy or not hairy, all I know is that if I had to get on all hands and knees and sneak across a wooden floor, it would likely cause sparks. And then I'd burn down everything, and it would not be very sneaky. It wouldn't be sneaky at all. The Butcher spawning down in the bottom left against Erexia, who spawns notably at the top left side. On the map, Antigua Shipyard, which is heralded by many as to be the map that results in the most identical games in a row, time and time and time again. But that's okay, because it has an easy third base, it has an easy second base, and it has an easy ramp to defend. And we even have this little smoke creep thing in the background, which, gameplay-wise, I understand Reapers and Colossi can pop out of here, and that's sort of cool mechanically, but I will never be able to figure out why this was built this way, what designer said, yep, that's perfect, just like that. We want to have a, I guess it's a balcony. And I still can't figure this out. If the chat would like to let me know, I'd be happy to listen. Now, the Butcher's doing a rather bold plan. He's starting off with a no Marine Fast Factory play. Seems reasonable because we may as well go all in or go home. No reason to half-ass the Funday Monday challenge. You don't want to dabble in it, man. Seriously, Butcher. Now, you might think that he's getting his tech lab for a Banshee, and you'd be wrong. 2 Marines out, a 3rd Marine coming out, but remember, we could early expand. We could set up bunkers for defense. We could scout for things like proxy pylons going outside our base, but we're not going to do any of that. It's Funday Monday. We got to kill the guy with medivac. So step 1, get a medivac. Step 2, get something to get in the medivac and then get in there. That, my friends, is a build order. Now, I don't know if you did this, but as a youth, let me tell you a little bit about how I took girls on dates and how this applies. I call it dates because when you're young, if your parents have to drop you off, it's not a date. You might think it is. I know that there is some 15-year-old populace here who's been dropped off and went home, and their mother was like, and how was it? And that 15-year-old was like, it was cool, Mom. It was pretty cool. How's your afternoon? Trying not to show the excitement because I don't want to share it with Mommy. Right now, here's the thing. Here's how I would do it. Here is how day 9 planned it out. I would never, ever want to go too far in a first date. Now, I know many of you watching are like, you know, in your 20s, and you're like, oh, I know what too far means. It means a very different thing when you are but a wee young idiot like I was. I remember, here was my thinking. I will go on 2 hangout times. I refuse to call it a date. 2 hangout times. And then what I will do is on the 3rd one, I will put my arm on her shoulder, and that's it. Not even around her, but on her shoulder. And the 4th time, then I can put it around her shoulder. I had build orders back then. These would be considered very passive build orders. They wouldn't even be considered long-term macro focused. I mean, seriously, this is like someone who walls himself in and builds turrets around, and then when he's mined out, he figures out where to lift and land. That was my build order. And I didn't know that this was so bad, right? And this all relates to Funday Monday, because I see people who go early expand, turtle up, get a tank, move out, take a 3rd. Once they're set, then they start dropping. No, not the Butcher. The Butcher, were he to take a fine lady on a date in the movie theater, he wouldn't say, oh, I gotta watch 4 more movies before I touch her. Hell no. The Butcher would have directed the movie, and he would have been on screen and turned to her and been like, Felicity, I love you. And then, when she turns to him, he's right there, and he's like, he didn't even bring in a cigarette to the theater. It just appeared in his mouth for effect. And the smoke would curl right around his long, dashing, smoky eyelashes. And he'd go, I'm 15. I mean, I don't know. It really, all this, I have to stop and note that if he's too suave, it's actually illegal. So he's a 15-year-old, he's a director, he smokes, kind of edgy, not healthy for him. He's going to find out later on he shouldn't do that. But here's the thing. The Butcher isn't fucking around, alright? He's going for those Thors right off the bat. So here comes the starport. Now keep in mind, if you're doing a Funday Monday, I can't wait to have a child. I'm gonna raise him so well. Or her. Potato, potato. All I can hope is that at some point on the SATs, I'll be the guy that writes the analogy section. And it will be, Butcher is to medivac, and the answer will be, as 15-year-old is to illegal baller. That'll be the answer. I can't wait. I can't wait. Coming right out the gate, look at this. 1 medivac, 4 Marines, he can't even fill it up, but that's fine. That's fine. Doesn't matter. He wants everyone to know he's doing the Funday Monday challenge. Now, I remember when I originally saw this. Now this is actually a stick man that he drew swiftly with his artistry. Now, when I originally saw this, I was like, why on earth is this guy getting a second medivac? What is he gonna, like, very lift up these Marines? But of course, I wasn't thinking like an aggressive He-Man like the Butcher is. The Butcher's really getting in there. He has a deliberate plan. He's also very lucky. He's also extremely lucky. I hit the B button. I didn't mean to do that, but that's fine. Let's get an instant replay of that for effect. He has a plan. 6 guys. He's also very lucky. Very lucky. He's going to very swiftly remember that he should have scouted at the start of the game, which is always an interesting moment in someone's StarCraft gameplay, when they do something where they don't go, oh, now I should do this. They go, oh, damn it, Dark Templars. Oh, my God. Now, here comes the Butcher. With what? With a hero Thor. Here it comes. In the main base of Erexia, it's actually a very reasoned setup. We have warp gates. We have the Robo. We have another warp gate. We have an expansion with nothing at it. Very reasonable at this point in time. He commences the drop, lifting, loading, unloading, blasting, microing, repairing, shooting, killing, lifting, landing, shooting, shooting, repairing, shooting. Now, who's your favorite commentator in the whole wide world? Who is... Now, if I were to write the analogy section on the SATs, it would be world's best commentator is to StarCraft as Pylon is to Artosis. In other words, you can't think one without thinking the other. That's the bridge that would get you that 800 on the SAT. So right now, it looks like Erexia cannot warp in units, get observers to scout, or upgrade +1 air attack. Oh my god. Get in there, run away. No, they're just repairing each other. Ugh. We were told what you wanted to do and one medivac will fall, but that's okay. The Butcher the Baller, the big time shot caller, the he will never expand at aller, doing his best to continue to harass his opponent with this here medivac with a Thor inside of it. Oh man. Continuing to mule, because you don't need an economy if you're all in. You know what I'm saying? Now, looks like the Butcher's going to continue to do the if at first you don't succeed, try again. Or as I like to call it, my favorite topping with a donut is, well, it's another donut. That is my kind of 12-course meal. Let me tell you something. A dozen of the best entree, back to back to back. Now, the interesting part about Heart of the Swarm is the Thor speed upgrade that you actually you build out of a starport. Kind of a weird design decision, but that's, you know, Blizzards are experts at it. Swinging right on in, the Butcher has decided to continue to drop, and you know, there's this interesting moment that happens in everyone's career as a gamer. They have a plan of what they want to do. It might involve some gateways, it might involve a robotics facility, maybe there's some forges coming in there, because again, we watched the greatest StarCraft commentator in the world, Artosis, doing a little commentary in the GSL. We may have watched Squirtle, we may have found out that Nestea created the universe, I think is what it was. But we were more focused on those Protoss players. We're stealing the Forge upgrades. We're stealing all the things that we saw Squirtle use to smack around MVP with his large trout. And now, we're getting disrupted a little bit. I wouldn't say murdered, but we're getting disrupted. But during that disruption, there is that moment where we realize, I'm not Squirtle. I don't even think I'm good at this game. I don't even think oh, fuck it, man. Just just box it all. Probes, go. Just, come on, everything. The box A. My strategy, it has all these complicated, cleverly thought out transitions, but if I take damage, man, all in. Here we go. Here we go. Let me give some analogies. Let me give some analogies to what this experience is like. In StarCraft, when you're getting hit, it's when you're just like, I'm all in. In poker, it's when you're playing passively, you're putting some chips, and then you get kings, and you're like, oh my god, I've got it. You're putting money you raise, and some other people call, and you're like, they don't even know. This is going to be awesome. And then an ace is dealt on the flop, and you just take your chips, and you're like, fuck this game, I'm all in. I hate it. This is stupid. And there they all swing in. Another example would be in Monopoly. If your friend has Boardwalk in Park Place, has the hotels, you land on Park Place, and then your next turn you roll a 2. And then you take your arm and you go, fuck this game, right? And you just sweep it all off. You just sweep it all off. So in the meantime, here it comes. It's Analogy Monday on Funday Monday. The worst part about every all-in, he will always have bunkers with SCVs. The worst part of going all-in with kings, even though you raise pre-flop, is that the first caller did have ace-2 offsuit and was willing to call all-in with just that ace. And per usual, the worst part about rolling that 2 in Monopoly is that after you've cleared the board, your friend will always remember to tell everyone that you've ever met. And we can tell that this was a successfully executed strategy by the Butcher because Erexia, who thus far has been fairly quiet, who thus far has only shown us a happy face, concludes with a succinct retard. And then departs. We'd like to give an extra special shout out to the Butcher who helped provide us this introductory game on Funday Monday. When we come back, I want to show you something that might seem impossible and will in fact induce cringes among you all. Stay tuned, we'll be back in about 3 short minutes.